Chapter 12 of John Smith's Funny Adventures on a Crutch, or The Remarkable Peregrinations of a One-Legged Soldier After the War. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Read by Shelley Weingart. John Smith's Funny Adventures on a Crutch, or The Remarkable Peregrinations of a One-Legged Soldier After the War, by A.F. Hill. Chapter 12. How Smith Traveled Afoot, and More. When morning came, I tried for an hour to get a conveyance to Sharpsburg, near Antietam Creek, 12 miles distant, but in vain. Not a horse or carriage of any kind was to be had for love or money, and I made up my mind to walk it, although I had never yet walked any such distance on one leg. When a man makes up his mind to do a thing, however, he will do it, if he has firmness, no matter whether he has any limbs or not. At 8 o'clock I went to the office of the provost marshal to get a pass over the bridge. For it will be recollected that the village of Harper's Ferry is on the Virginia side, but he had not come yet. Wishing to start as soon as possible, I thought I would try to face my way over. So I went to the bridge, bade the sentinel a cheerful good morning, and was moving on when he said, "Have you a pass?" "No," I replied, stopping. "I'm not in the service. Is a pass necessary?" "No," said he, after a slight pause. "Your crutch is pass enough. I suppose you got that in the army?" "Yes," I replied, "at Antietam. I'm going up there today to see the old ground." "How are you going?" "I'm going to walk." "Walk? Why, can you do it?" "I think I can, although I have never yet walked so far on a crutch." "You'll have a good walk of it. It's fully 12 miles. "Yes, so I've been told, but I could get no conveyance, and must try it." "I hope you'll get along well." "Thank you." I passed on. When I reached the middle of the bridge, I could not refrain from stopping to admire the scenery, which had never before appeared so grand to me. Harper's Ferry presents a romantic picture indeed. All around are tall, majestic, wood-covered hills that gaze down upon the village and bridge with quiet and awful dignity. And the beautiful river, wandering silently about among them, looks as if it would never find its way out. It was the 25th of March. The morning was pleasant. The sun was smiling on the heights and glancing down on the little village and the pure river. I thought I had never before seen such a beautiful sight. I passed over the bridge, turned to my left, and walked up the towpath of the canal. The first 2 or 3 miles I got over in an hour or so, very smoothly, but after that I felt weary at times, and found it an advantage to rest every mile or two. By 11:45 I had reached the mouth of Antietam Creek, 10 miles from Harper's Ferry, and had now to leave the river and strike over the hills for Sharpsburg, 2 miles distant. Nothing had happened to me during my walk, save that a stray bullet from beyond the river had now and then whistled about my ears. They were no doubt fired at random by some of our pickets there who did not see me. I had now to cross the canal in order to direct my course toward Sharpsburg. This was no easy matter. There was no bridge or lock near, and no ordinary jumper could clear it at a bound. I did fancy that I might make it in 2 jumps, but did not try. It was not full of water, and seeing no plan but to wade through it, I removed my shoe and other apparel liable to get saturated in the course of such an enterprise, and stalked in. I did not find it deeper than 20 inches, but its temperature felt very little above 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and it made my foot and the calf of my leg ache clear through by the time I got across. Having passed this obstruction and replaced my shoe, etc., I went to a house not far off. There I inquired the way to Sharpsburg, and was directed to follow a country road that took its way over the hill, and did so. I reached Sharpsburg by 1 o'clock, having walked a little more than 12 miles in 5 hours. There was an old hotel there, and having taken dinner, I started for Smoketown, 3 miles distant, where I had lain in the hospital. I visited the village, a village consisting of 2 dwelling houses and a corn crib, and then returned to the battlefield and spent an hour or 2 traveling about in search of the spot on which I had received my wound. I failed to find the interesting place, although I had felt confident of being able to walk directly to it in a straight line. It is remarkable what a change takes place in a year or 2 in the appearance of the ground on which a battle has been fought. 30 months had now elapsed since the Battle of Antietam, and a casual observer would not have noticed any trace of the conflict. I saw Mr. Miller plowing in a field opposite the little Tunker Church by the pike, a building that had been nearly knocked to pieces in the fight, but had since been repaired, and he showed me a full set of bones lying in a fence corner, which he had just plowed up. He said they had been scarcely under the surface of the earth, but that he would bury them deeper. This was the famous cornfield in which the struggle between Hooker's and Longstreet's corps was so terrible, and where so many of the Pennsylvania reserves were killed. I found in this field several bullets, a fragment of shell, and a few canteens, straps, etc., lying about. As evening approached, I had walked from 18 to 20 miles since morning. I started for Keedysville, several miles distant, with the intention of staying there all night. After the amputation of my leg at Antietam, as mentioned in the first chapter, I had lain in a barn near the creek a week or 2. And this evening, after crossing the creek and walking a little way toward Keedysville, I recognized the same barn, although I had never known its precise location. And oh, what recollections of misery it brought back to me! My sufferings in that barn were so terrible, so far exceeding anything that might merely be termed pain, that as I look back now, the time spent there seems more like a horrible dream than a reality. The sun was sinking as I stood in the road gazing thoughtfully at the barn, and I thought of the evening I had lain within, almost dead, and seen the sun's last red rays struggling into that somber apartment of misery through the crevices. While I thus stood, a lady who had come out of an adjacent house approached me. Her footsteps, as she drew near, aroused me from my train of thought. "Good evening, ma'am," said I. "How do you do? Will you walk into the house?" was the response. "No, thank you," I rejoined. "I'm on my way to Keedysville, and was just looking at this barn, which I recognize as the one in which I lay for some days after the battle here." "Ah," said she, "were you one of the wounded ones who occupied the barn?" "Yes, ma'am. Who is the owner?" "Mr. Pry, my husband." "I have been on the battleground," I observed, "trying to find the place I was when wounded." "And did you find it?" "I'm sorry to say that I failed," said I. "A pity. Where did you come from today?" "Harper's Ferry." "How did you get up?" "Walked." "Walked? You surely did not walk it on one leg?" "Yes, ma'am, and this crutch and cane. I reached Sharpsburg by dinner time, and have spent the afternoon in rambling over the battlefield and visiting Smoketown." "You surprise me. I did not suppose a person on crutches could do all that." "Nor did I, till I tried it." "Well, you must go no further tonight. You were our guest before and must be again, now that we are better prepared to accommodate you." "Why, really, You mustn't think of going any further. Why, you've walked 20 miles today, and on a crutch. No, indeed, you must not pass my house. Come in. Mr. Pry is just coming in to supper. Come, no excuses." I did not further decline the proffered hospitality of this excellent lady. I was ushered into the house, and was made no less welcome by Mr. Pry, his sons, and a beautiful, amiable daughter. An excellent supper, a pleasant evening chat, a tidy bed, a comfortable chamber, and oh, such a delicious, dreamless slumber after my day's exertion, made me forget all my weariness, and I awoke the next morning, the beautiful Sunday morning of March 26th, with all the vigor of youth. Never let me forget the Pry family for their cordial welcome and hospitable entertainment. End of chapter 12.